Vihari Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Pavan Harinam Sankirtan ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki No, I don't think I will do it. Check me. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमावों विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class this morning. You can see the verse now. Jikhma prayam vyavahridam shatyamishram cha sauhridam pitrmatra suhrid bratra dampatinam cha kalkanam. Jikhma prayam vyavahridam shatyamishram cha sauhridam पितृमात्र सुहृद भ्रातृ दंपतीनां च कल्कनम। जिह्म प्रायं व्यवहृतं शाट्यमिश्रं च सौहृदं पितृमात्र सुहृद भ्रातृ दंपतीनां च कल्कनम। जिह्म प्रायं व्यवहृतं शाठ्यमिश्रं च सौहृदं पितृमात्र सुहृद भ्रातृ दंपतीनां च कल्कनम। जिह्म प्रायं व्यवहृतं शाठ्यमिश्रं च सौहृदं पितृमात्र सुहृद भ्रातृ दंपतीनां च कल्कनम। जिह्म प्रायं व्यवहृतं शाठ्यमिश्रं च सौहृदं पितृमात्र सुहृद भ्रातृ दंपतीनां च। माताजी Jehma prayam vyavahritam Shathyamishram cha sauhridam Pitramatra suhrid bratra Dampatinam cha kalkanam Jehma prayam cheating. Vyavahritam in all ordinary transactions. Shatya duplicity. Mishram adulterated in. Cha and Sauhridam regarding friendly well-wishers. Pitra father. Matra regarding the mother. Suhrid well-wishers. Bratra one's own brother. Dampatinam regarding husband and wife. Cha also. Kalkanam mutual quarrel. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. All ordinary transactions and dealings became polluted with cheating, even between friends. And in familial affairs, there was always misunderstanding between fathers, mothers, and sons, between well-wishers and between brothers. Even between husband and wife, there was always strain and quarrel. This was observed by Yudhishthir Maharaj at the beginning of Kali Yuga. He saw dealings that were filled with deception and friendships which were mixed with cheating. There were quarrels between fathers, mothers, friends, brothers, husbands and wives. Kalkanam means quarrels and other conflicts. So he is saying that Asmat Shloka Apurva Mayam Patho Adiko Veera Raghava Siddhanta Deepakayoho. He is saying Veera Raghava Siddhanta Deepika. In that there is a shloka he quotes and he quotes this thing. Okay. Now Prabhupada says in the purport here, a conditioned living being is endowed with 4 principles of malpractice, namely errors, insanity, inability and cheating. These are signs of imperfection, and out of the 4, a propensity to cheat others is most prominent. And this cheating practice is there in the conditioned souls because the conditioned souls are primarily in the material world, imbued with an unnatural desire to lord it over the material world. A living being in his pure state is not conditioned by the laws because in his pure state is conscious that a living being is eternally subservient to the Supreme Being. And thus it is always good for him to remain subservient instead of falsely trying to lord it over the property of the Supreme Lord. In the conditioned state, the living being is not satisfied even if he actually becomes the lord of all that he surveys, which he never becomes. And therefore, he becomes the victim of all kinds of cheating, even with his nearest and most intimate relations. In such an unsatisfactory state of affairs, there is no harmony, even between father and sons or between husband and wife. But all these contending difficulties can be mitigated by one process, and that is the devotional service of the Lord. The world of hypocrisy can be checked only by counteraction through devotional service to the Lord and nothing else. Maharaj Yudhishthira, having observed the disparities, conjectured the disappearance of the Lord from the earth. So, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a comparison given between how the world was when Krishna was present and how the world became when Krishna went back to his own abode. So there is a very stark contrast between the two. It's mentioned in another place about Yudhishthira Maharaja's rule when he was ruling the world, how the cows were very happy, the udders were full of milk, the nature was fully lushy green and filled with flowers and fruits, and rivers are full of water, and the birds were happy in the sky, and animals were happy on land, and human beings were all friendly and cooperative with each other, with God, with Krishna in the center. Nobody felt sick. There was no epidemic or any pandemic or any disease, and all the people They were free from lust, anger and greed. Hmm? And it was exactly like resembling Vaikuntha world. So this world became like that. Sometimes we talk about Rama Rajya, or sometimes we talk about Yudhishthira's Rajya. It was so nice. Everything was very good. Because everybody was aligned with Brahminical principles. See, the Brahminical principles which the scriptures talk about, it is actually a true north principle, we can say, or the universal principle. Like the compass, in whatever direction you change the compass, it will always go towards north. Similarly, the Brahminical principles are given in the Vedic literature. It is always meant for the welfare of all. Actually, when you, for example, one of the Brahminical principles is you drink the milk of a cow. But when one does not follow that principle, even the Brahmanas, children, for example, when the Brahmanas don't follow the Brahminical life of doing yajna for the Lord, rising early in the morning, taking a bath, keeping the puja room clean, chanting the Lord's names, studying Gita, Bhagavatam, if they don't do all these things, eventually their mind becomes crazy, and they think, let our sons and daughters go to America and make money. They go to foreign lands, and eventually they take green card, they settle there, then they start eating even beef. They may not eat beef, maybe their sons, daughters will eat beef. It happens like that. So now your Brahmana may say, no, we are protectors of cows, but then their grandchildren are eating beef there. You can see that. Because they have given up the Brahminical culture. Therefore, the Brahminical culture has to be followed, Vedic culture, properly. The moment we slightly deviate from the laws of God, we are attracting great danger in our lives. And how we deviate from God's laws? By disrespect. And that disrespect is explained here. In the beginning of Kali Yuga, the disrespect was introduced. You will see, when one disrespects one superior, then he does Shatya Mishram Cha Sauhridam. Shatya means he even cheats the superior by manipulating the superior and trying to get something out of the superior's mouth as per one's need. Basically, one's need is sense gratification. For my sense gratification, I will present only a partial truth to the superior so that it will be sanctioned. So, and then after it is sanctioned, then the truth will come out some other time in future. So, one may cheat even on Sauhridam, brother and brother may cheat. One king killed his brothers and put his father in jail. So there are examples like that. Just for the sake of royal position, one may harm one's own brother also. You can see that. Similarly, Pitru Matra Surat Patra is saying, father and son quarrel, mother and daughter quarrel, husband and wife quarrel. So quarrel is actually a very significant thing in Kali Yuga. And how does the quarrel happen? The root of quarrel is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy means cheating. Like some X person is cheating and Y person is questioning. So X becomes angry with Y. Why? Why are you asking me why? Then he becomes angry, and that anger leads to quarrel. So hypocrisy, for example, husband and wife are supposed to peacefully practice devotional service. But if husband and wife are not peacefully, why the word peacefully is used? Unless your mind is peaceful, you cannot practice devotion service peacefully. If mind is disturbed by the lust, anger or greed, then our devotional service will be disturbed. And also one is likely to go off track from Brahminical culture. Like if a husband becomes unchaste in his relationship with the wife, or wife becomes unchaste in her relationship with the husband, they are going for a extramarital relationship, then by that there is quarrel at home. Because that's a hypocritical behavior. And when hypocrisy is observed by the spouse, husband or the wife, they will ask, why are you going out and connecting with somebody? Then they will say, no, who told you I connected? Then there is a big quarrel. That means everything starts with hypocrisy. And hypocrisy leads to quarrel. And quarrel leads to rebellion. Then the other party may say, you are doubting me, so I am separating now. Take this divorce. Rebel. Then after rebelling, then one becomes independent. These four are characteristics of Kali Yuga. Hypocrisy, quarrel, rebellion, independence. This one follows after another. You will see like this. So, and why did a person do hypocrisy? Because one stopped practicing the Brahminical culture. Brahminical culture, every one of the aspects is important in that. You remember I told you long before about acronym for Brahminical culture, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, correct? A for absolute truth. That means Krishna should be the center of Brahminical culture. If our ahankara becomes the center, or my sense gratification becomes the center, then no more Brahminical culture. Brahminical culture means Krishna should be the center. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Not Samsiddhir Indriya Toshanam or Manatoshanam or any other Toshanam. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. So A is absolute truth. B is the Brahmanas should be respected. Brahmanas means the teachers. The teachers should be given the due regard and due respect. What happens in Kali Yuga? Because it's an age of information explosion. You just go to the Google search and cut and paste and prepare a PPT or prepare a lecture, and then you deliver, and then you think very high of yourself. I gave such an amazing lecture. Even many of my seniors cannot prepare like the way I have prepared. One may imagine oneself to be a great teacher. What teacher? He's a borrowed teacher. He's a borrowed plumes. Just put Google search and collect from everywhere and put and speak. Anybody can do that. So when one becomes proud of one's skills, then that false pride gives him a sense of, being very important. So then one will not know the value of, offenseless chanting, the value of consistent practice, the value of steadiness in spiritual life, the value of loyalty, the value of integrity, truthfulness. One will not know these things. Rather, one only goes by the skill. And one thinks very high of oneself. By thinking high of oneself, then one loses respect for the superiors. One behaves with the attitude of a holier than thou attitude, we call it. It's like one becomes like a self-made master. So that type of false pride, thinking high about oneself, leads to disrespect for the superiors. So when that disrespect comes, then we consider the superior to be a fool, not very smart, not very intelligent. I am more intelligent. Then thinking I am more intelligent, then we commit mistakes. That's where the errors are introduced. And there is a hypocritical mindset. So A for absolute truth, B for Brahmana teachers, C for cow protection, D for the demigods who are administrators of this universe. They should not be offended, but they should be respected. So in ISKCON, who are like the demigods? The administrators. There are managers, there are HODs, there are vice presidents, there are presidents, there is GBC. These are all playing the role of demigods in the universe. Similarly, they are all playing the role of administrating the society, and we should have respect for them. Somebody may say, I respect only Krishna, I don't respect demigods. That means I respect only Prabhupada and I don't care for all the managers, leaders. There are people who even criticize GBC also. There are people who criticize authorities, leaders, everybody. So when they lose respect for these people holding positions, they think of them to be merely controllers. They don't see the devotion in the heart of demigods. See, demigods have two components. Yes, it is true that they have some controlling mentality, but they also have devotion to Supreme Lord. Madhvacharya says, if anybody condemns the demigods, not knowing about their devotion to Krishna, then such a person, he becomes condemnable. He cannot be a proper devotee of Krishna. In Pune, one devotee asked a question to His Holiness Bhakti Vaishnava Ashray Maharaj. He said, Maharaj, this Indra seems to be a cheater. Indra always has problem and things like that he was asking. So Maharaj was upset. Maharaj said, what? Indra, your younger brother, what are you thinking about Indra? Then Maharaj went on telling the glories of Indra. Many devotees were stunned. So he was telling, Indra and demigods came to arrest Kayadu. Who was the mother of? Prahlad. When Prahlad was in the womb of Kayadu, they arrested Kayadu thinking that, Asura's putra will be Asura. So let us take her to heaven. As soon as child is born, we will kill the child. Like that they thought. Huh? At the time, who came and stopped them? Narada. As soon as Narada told her, hey, demigod, you cannot kill this child. He's a Mahabhagavat devotee. Huh? Prahlad, going to appear in future. Stop arresting her, leave her. As soon as Indra and others heard her, not only they folded their palms and prayed to the child, they circumambulated Kayadu 3 times and offered obeisances and then went back to their abodes. So Maharaj was telling how much Indra is respectful. You can see that. To the words of a great saintly person like Narada. So one shouldn't think of ordinary. And then he said, he also said that demigods generally shower flowers when Lord performs pastimes. Correct, no? That is anumodan. That's like appreciating. Correct, no? When the Lord is any pastime, you will find demigods are not only showering flowers at the end, even in the beginning also they take part. For example, Ram and Lakshman, Sita are going to forest. The demigods will be talking to Ram. Oh Lord Rama, you are supposed to do this next. They are supposed to do that next. They follow up also. They follow up with the Lord. They tell Bharata, you go back now. Don't pressurize your brother. You go back. So you will find even that 8th child of Devaki will kill Kamsa. That was spoken by one demigod only. Because the demigod was worried that if Kamsa becomes too good a brother, his virtue will increase. If his virtue increases, then Kamsa's stay in the material world will be prolonged. Correct, no? So better he be finished as soon as possible because he's a kala, he's a dveshi. Therefore, they announced on the top, Kamsa, you are a fool. Don't you know? The 8th child of Devaki is going to be the cause of your death. Then his actual side came out of Kamsa. You can see. So demigods are constantly cooperating with Lord's pastimes. One should not think of them as ordinary. Not only that, the demigods are living in a planet where people only are born, they only die. They don't get old. Do you know that? Demigods don't get old. And demigods don't get disease also. And Maharaj even said that they don't even pass stool and urine also. They have no such thing as we do. Jai Shri Shri Radha Nila Madhav ki, Jagannath Subramanian ki, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki. So he was telling there is no toilet block in heaven, he said. They don't need it. Their bodies are always ever fresh. In fact, when they go to river to take bath, they are not taking bath to get rid of the impurities in their body like our body. Our body has 9 holes emanating false-smelling substances. But they take bath and when they come out of the river becomes fragrant. 80 miles distance you can get the smell. Fragrance. But it comes in the 5th canto. Read that. That means they make the river fragrant, not that the river has to remove their impurities. So then he was asking, just think about it. If your body is so fragrant body, which doesn't pass stool and urine, and it is always ever fresh and youthful, and the heaven there are abundant facilities. How many of you think it will be a little difficult to control sense gratification? You agree? Not very easy. Even with such a nasty body, we want to do sense gratification. Like a narakastopi deham by napamam stektu mechati. Like a pig in a ditch tries to enjoy stool and gutter life. Similarly, the human beings on earth are trying to enjoy the sense gratification even in a horrible situation. So therefore, Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam, which we say in the heavenly planets, Bhoga is not very easy to give up. Now, because the bodies are tenacious, it lasts for 10,000 years or 1 lakh years. Long duration of life, handsome body, no nasty substances coming out, body not getting old, body not getting disease. You think life is almost immortal. And with all these situations, the Devatas are still trying to. And one quality Prabhupada says, difference between human beings and Devatas. The Devatas do sense gratification, humans do sense gratification. But when humans do sense gratification, they forget the Lord. Whereas the Devatas do sense gratification, they lament and they repent and they remember the Lord. Prabhupada says that. And they don't forget the Lord. I can show you one purport where Prabhupada says that. The Devatas repeatedly remember the Lord and they repent, he says. So, In this way, the demigods are all administrators of the universe. Similarly, you will find in ISKCON society also, there may be leaders, managers, sometimes they fall short of a very high standard sometimes, but they cannot give up the lotus feet of Prabhupada, they can't give up the lotus feet of Krishna. They again come back and reinstate themselves and go on with their service. A true devotee cannot leave Krishna forever and go away. He will only get a temporary setback. Therefore, people in the administration should not be thought of to be merely power greedy or power hungry people. They have their Krishna conscious side also, which is oftentimes not seen by the foolish people. So that is demigods. The E for etiquettes and behavior. The foremost etiquette is respect. The moment you lose respect, see, respect first comes in the mind and then it comes externally. Then you may bow down, offer obeisances. If you have a natural respect in the heart, and then it comes out as offering Ashtanga Pranam or Panchanga Pranam or whatever, that's a proper etiquette. Otherwise, if you don't have respect inside, at least one should show external respect. At least to begin with. And gradually one will develop respect inside. So, and why in Kali Yuga the respect of the jivas is disturbed? Because there is lot of rumor mongering. Rumor mongering, backbiting, foul speech, and also politicizing. Like for example, you have a great respect for a Vaishnava devotee, and somebody comes and fills your ears, says something polluting, immediately you lose respect for the devotee. Actually, your respect for somebody also comes by hearsay only. Like for example, there are many people who have seen me only in, say, some YouTube video, they heard lecture or something like that. First time they are seeing me, they will have tears in their eyes. Prabhu, I am meeting you first time. Personally, I got to hear a personal lecture from you, and they will send message to so many people. I met Prabhuji, I talked to Prabhuji like that. So you can see that people, when they put faith, they have innocent faith. Very innocent and very pure. And that faith is very purifying and elevating for them when they put faith in some devotee. On the other hand, that same people's innocent faith is disturbed by some polluting information somebody puts in their ears. Then the faith is shattered. It is destroyed. The next time you see, as soon as they see you, they will turn their face and go away. Immediately. What is the meaning of people turning their face and going away? That means somebody has put something in their ears. Like I heard the story of 4 cows who were very cooperatively living in a forest. They had big, big horns. And so even lion was afraid to come near them. Because if the lion would come, all 4 of them would charge at the lion with their horns. And the lion would run away, thinking that these fellows will tear me to pieces. But later on, lion met them one by one and then put something in their ears. Then all the 4 cows became inimical to each other. Then they went in 4 directions, north, east, west, south. Now it became very easy for the lion. Lion told them, I am your friend now. So lion made friendship with the cows and killed one by one all the cows. So you will find in Kali Yuga, we will give more weightage to the information heard from different people without checking whether that information is true or not. People will just put faith in anybody. Anything in internet you see, immediately you put faith, as if it is the gospel truth, as if it is a Vedic truth, Veda Vaka or something like that. On the other hand, if anybody questions anything, I will tell them, come, you personally come, come and stay in our ashram for 1 month, and then you say anything you want. Then I used to say like that, because most people don't see the truth. They hear it from different people, and then they keep that pollution in their mind. Based on that, they offend devotees, disrespect devotees. Actually, when you have respect, that respect actually is elevating. When you have disrespect, that disrespect is discouraging and downgrading. In the same manner, in Kali Yuga, as I told you, hypocrisy leads to quarrel, quarrel leads to rebellion, rebellion leads to independent mentality. Now, in the Vedic times, if a guru found a disciple hypocritical, the guru can actually curse the disciple. For example, if you see, Karna was cursed by Parashuram. Parashuram taught everything to Karna. But the moment he saw Karna was hypocritical, He claimed to be Brahmana, but he was actually a Kshatriya. So he cursed him that whatever you learned from me will be lost. It will not come to you at the time of, need. So he spelled out a curse. There are examples of, gurus chastising the disciples. In the Vedic culture, you can see that. Because Guru is a well-wisher. He is actually Surdam, heart-to-heart well-wisher of the disciple. The disciples were convinced that my superior is my well-wisher, and if he is finding fault with me, sometimes we think that, hey, my superior didn't hear the whole picture. He only knows partial information. He is thinking partial information and is chastising me without getting the full picture. So my guru is a fool, if somebody thinks like that. Actually, we should think that I haven't given the full information, he chastised me. That means I deserve this chastisement. He hasn't heard the full information, no problem. I will tell you an example for this. If you go to the 9th canto, I think 3rd chapter, second or third chapter, there is a story of one Prashadra. This Prashadra was a prince. So amongst the prince, 3-4 princes were there. Some were given the kingdom. But Prashadra said, I am a lover of cows. You just make me in charge of Goshala. I will protect the cows daily. So whole night he will keep vigil and he'll keep a sword in his hand, standing in the Goshala protecting the cows. So one day night, it was slightly drizzling in the sky. It was a moonlit night. The cows were all inside the barn. So one tiger came from the forest. Due to hunger, it wanted to attack a cow and take it. So when the tiger was coming near the Goshala, immediately Prashadra saw that from a distance in the moonlit night. It was not clear. To some degree he could see it. And it was about to catch a cow. So all the other cows became horrified. They ran out of the barn, hither and thither. And the tiger thought, one I will attack and take it. He went to attack with his hand, with his paw, he went to attack the cow. And Prashadra threw a sword right in his hand, so that the hand of the tiger will be cut. And then the tiger will run away and cow will be protected. So when he did that, sure enough, tiger got hurt in the hand. He screamed and he ran into the forest with a bleeding hand. But the sword slipped from there and hit the cow also. And the cow died. So when the cow died, Prashadra didn't know that cow has died. When the morning sun was rising, the Brahmanas came there and they saw the dead cow. Alas, alas, there was a screaming because cow was also hit by the same sword. They understood what happened. They immediately ran to Vasishta and narrated the story. What happened? Vasishta became wild. Without even calling Prashadra, Vasishta cursed him. He said, you fool, you have killed the cow, you have done a Brahma Hatya. I curse you to become a Shudra in the next life. Like that he cursed him. And the news came to Prashadra. He thought that, Vasishta is a great soul. He has cursed me and I should not protest. And I should not talk against him or talk ill of him. Rather, let me do something which will ultimately bring me auspiciousness. So he went and joined one brahmacharya ashram in the forest, a Gurukul. And he living in the brahmacharya ashram, he intensely practiced his spiritual life. At the end of the life, he went back home, back to Godhead. He didn't become Shudra at all. Because that curse became nullified. Because of his intense practice of Bhakti Yoga practice. So I was telling you, you can see that if a superior is scolding an inferior thinks it's for my good, even though I may think I don't deserve it. But now in Kali Yuga, what happens? Many of the people in inferior position think that, okay, if I cannot connect with one, I can connect to second one, I can connect to third one, I can connect to fourth one. You can connect to n number of people, as many n number of desires you have. If I have n desires, that many seniors I can have. And I will connect to that senior who will exactly give me what I want to hear. Then that way, I can preserve my plan for sense gratification. So this is Kali Yuga. There is a disloyalty. There is a independent mindset. As I told you, these 4 things. Hypocrisy leads to quarrel, leads to rebellion, leads to independence. Yeah. So, there was one discussion with His Divine Grace, Bhakti Sridhar Maharaj. His Prabhupada's very dear God brother. One disciple was talking to him about how that some Vaishnava gurus are able to produce huge number of devotees. And there are other Vaishnava gurus who produce only a small number of devotees. Does it mean that those who produce small number of devotees are inferior and those who produce big number of devotees are glorious? Good question, no? So, in response, he has given a very beautiful answer. He says that actually Krishna works through different people differently. And the person who is producing large number of devotees, he is certainly an exalted soul. We say, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartan. And that doesn't mean that the other person doesn't have Krishna Shakti. So he says that if a person doesn't produce big number of devotees, but he has faithfully executed the Guru's instruction, he will also go back to Godhead. The criteria is not how many devotees you produce. The criteria is Guru pleased with you? If Guru is satisfied with him, yes, there is one devotee in Vrindavan. He joined at the age of 8-year-old boy. He took Diksha from his Guru. And when we went to Vrindavan for Yatra, he was 88 years old. Can you imagine? 88. How many years he has served? 80 years he has served. And he has not left the temple. Here also our Pujari has served 25 years, I said. He just has to continue serving, he'll go back to Godhead. Correct, no? Serving like this lifelong, yeah. He doesn't have to prove to the world how great he is. If you faithfully do the service given by the Guru, it is a relationship between Guru and disciple. It's a contract. When disciple is introduced to Krishna by the Guru, and Krishna has agreed, and Guru tells the disciple, my dear child, if you do this, I'll be pleased with you. If you have done it, you go back to Godhead. So, that is actually success. On the other hand, somebody may, like Daksha Prajapati produced so much of Praja and became very proud. Correct, no? So, it's not only a question of producing a big number of people or expanding the movement to great heights. Some people are meant for that, they will do that. Some people may not do that, but they may show something else. They may show the exemplary quality of loyalty to Guru, a faithful surrender to Guru. There are people, my spiritual master was telling about one Mataji, Kulangana Mataji in London. She used to make a beautiful round cake kind of thing. So on the top of it, she will make a cream. And in that cream, she will put a flute and a peacock feather. You can do that, correct? In a cake design. In the cake, you can make a design of a flute and peacock feather, and color also you can use. Colors also. So my Guru Maharaj was telling, when the offering goes to Krishna, Radha Landaneshwar, how much he must be happy that this devotee has made such fine detail of flute and peacock feather and given me this cake. Krishna will eat it happily. But then when the prasad comes out of the altar, when people are given, most people don't see also what it is. Immediately they put in the mouth. They eat it. So Maharaj is telling, you may not see, but Krishna has taken notice. So she will go back to Godhead by pleasing Krishna. So pleasing the superior is the criteria. Yasya prasadat Bhagavad prasad. You don't have to do anything big in this world. You make sure, ask yourself the question, why are you existing in this world? We are existing only for one purpose. Existing to please the spiritual master. If spiritual master is pleased, we go back to Godhead. We don't have to do anything else in this world. Anything else we can do, that should be considered additional. On the contrary, without pleasing Guru, whatever extraneous things we may do in this world is all good for nothing. This is Shrama Eva Hi Kevalam, we said. So therefore, amongst all the etiquettes, the most important etiquette is the respect. So our respect in Kali Yuga is polluted by bad news, bad information, wrong information, and rumor mongering, backbiting, prajalpa, useless talk, argumentation, debate, fault finding, blasphemy, and such kinds of things, as it is said here. So sometimes a person carries some polluting information and he thinks he's very great because he knows it. Actually, the information he knows is the wrong information. This fool doesn't know it. But there are people carrying wrong information and also spreading it to others without even knowing whether it is true or not. And that is one of the number one causes of disrespect of superiors in our society. People may even disrespect great leaders, even up to the point of GBCs also. So they may be misunderstood by the people. One should, if one lacks respect, what to speak of for very great superiors, even for a junior we should have respect. Why we should have respect for even a junior? A junior is also an entity, living entity. He has his individuality. He has his likes and dislikes. He has his unique features. So, like the Vedas teach us to respect even an ant. You have seen, for example, if there is a worm moving like this, you put a paper, like that you will turn that side. You have seen that? Because he doesn't want to get into the paper. You have seen that. Even he has a free will. Correct? Now he just turns. I don't want to get on your paper. You may harm me. Correct? Now he thinks like that. So Prabhupada said, don't put a paper, get one grass. So one devotee got one long grass. When you put the grass, then the worm is comfortable. Okay, this is our element. Grass. Climbs on the grass. Then Prabhupada said, leave him in the garden. There he'll be happy. He said, because if you keep him in the middle of the temple hall, somebody may dance and make the chutney out of that, worm. So Prabhupada said, put him in the garden, he'll be happy there. So Prabhupada was giving the dignity even to a worm also. If Prabhupada is giving dignity to worm, can't we give dignity to juniors, younger devotees with whom we are dealing? Actually, one of the aspects of respect means to value the individuality. The individual means he has likes and dislikes. He has his favoritisms. Something is he likes, he prefers something. He doesn't. Even while eating also, if I am serving prasad, I see some people want, they take rice like a big mountain. And no dal at all. Only sabji on the top. You have seen people like that? And there are others who will make rice and they'll make a big hole in the middle. And they will say, put lot of dal. Put more. And they don't want any sabji. Only dal and rice. Some people, no rice, no dal. Only chapati. So, should I serve them according to their taste or according to my preference? That is. So, same with dealing also. When we are dealing with the younger ones, actually we should give due respect for their individuality and their individual tastes, individual likes and dislikes. At the same time, the junior should be worried that I am presenting my likes and dislikes, but what does my superior want? They should think like that. So when they think like that, then the relationship is very conducive. That's why there is one verse which says, Titikshaya karunaya maitriya cha kila jantushu samatvena cha sarvatma bhagavan samprasidati. Titikshaya means the juniors should tolerate the seniors. Sometimes the juniors find it difficult to tolerate the seniors because it makes them feel that they are putting too much pressure on me. For example, for getting money, for preaching, so many formalities. You have to give budget. Actually, many of brahmacharis are not used to giving budget. Keep on asking, you keep on supplying. And the moment you are asked for budget, you become angry. But actually, budget is asked for what purpose? So that temple can get an idea. It is not 2 rupees or 5 rupees. If you want lakhs of rupees, you have to make a budget for the whole year. So the juniors should not think that there is it's a pressure. Titikshaya, they should tolerate what the management committee makes plans or what the seniors are telling us. You follow this, we follow it. And in the same manner, the corrections are given to us for, sometimes we want to take leniences. And those leniences are not allowed. For example, somebody doesn't come for the morning program. Somebody doesn't attend the class. Like there are people, you keep training program, they will not come. But they only want to speak. They want speaking opportunity, but for classes, they don't want to come. So we made a policy in Pune. Unless you attend some classes, you cannot give Bhagavatam class. We have made a policy. So sometimes certain people from outside, they call, Prabhuji, when is my lecture? When I'm supposed to give? You have no lecture. You will not give, unless you come and sit and hear others' lectures, you will not get chance for giving lecture. Why only you should speak? You should also hear. We made a flat policy like that now. So therefore, many fellows lost opportunity to give. We told them no. Because, unless we sit down and hear, our ahankara cannot be purified. As much as we are eager to speak, we also should be willing to sit down and listen. So, this is also one type of austerity that the seniors expect from juniors, and they should actually cultivate that, everybody. Like every senior, like my spiritual master told me way back in 96, he told me, yatras are very good for you. In one shot, you will get a lot of association and lectures. It will be nice if you can come for yatras. So I've been going since 1996. Particularly, I didn't miss a single yatra. I've been going every year. My spiritual master goes for yatra, I'll register always. So if you go and sit down and hear for 4 hours, 5 hours, that's purification for us. Then only you earn the right to speak. Otherwise, we have no right to speak. So, titikshaya, tolerate the superiors. The superior is chastising. Arjuna is being chastised by Krishna. Dhritarashtra is chastised by Vidura. You can Rahugana is chastised by Jadabharata. You can see all these examples. You have to tolerate. Karunaya, that word is used for seniors. Seniors should be sympathetic to the juniors. Somebody may ask, just now you said titikshaya, juniors should tolerate senior, then why do you say karunaya? Actually, in general, the seniors are compassionate to the juniors, but occasionally they have to chastise. So chastisement is not a daily business. So once in a while, they have to be given correction. Why correction? Because the conditioned soul has a tendency to go away from Brahminical behavior. It has a tendency in conditioned stage. For example, somebody want to take lenience and not come for the morning program. Or somebody is not strictly practicing the 4 regulative principles. They tend to deviate. So, the corrections are inevitable in this world, and they have to be taken in the right spirit. So, if you are ready to tolerate the senior, that's a sign of respect. Also, you are giving respect. Only when you give respect, then only you will tolerate. Correct, no? Yeah. So, like when counselors are counseling, so we have some policy that the husband and wife should counsel the counselees in the presence of wife or husband. Correct, no? You cannot counsel alone. A man cannot counsel a woman alone, or a woman cannot counsel a man alone. They counsel together as husband, wife, together. It's a policy. But if the conditioned soul, due to his enjoying mentality, if he deviates from that, he has to be chastised or he has to be corrected. Correct, no? So, same way we have principles for brahmacharya ashrama also, that we give we give mentoring training for boys, and for girls there are matajis who give mentoring training. Correct, no? Unnecessarily one should not get into trouble. So, but there is a tendency for deviating, you agree? And that is where what comes? Correction comes. So corrections have to be taken by the juniors in a respectful way. It's being done for my purification and it's good for me. And that's a sign of respect for the superiors. Like Rahugana, when he got chastisement from Jadabharata, he didn't protest. He accepted. When Arjuna was chastised by Krishna, he didn't run away. He heard the full Gita. You'll see that. Till the end, correct, now? Simply, they didn't put a wall around themselves. But they heard and they were willing to rectify. Yeah. In the same manner, the superiors should be compassionate to the juniors. And what is the meaning of compassion? In the 5th canto of Bhagavatam, there is one verse, our Rishabhadev says that a teacher should not become excessively angry with a student, because by so becoming angry, it is like pushing a blind man into a dry well. It's like catching him by the neck and throwing him into a dry well. Already he is blind. And if you push him into a dry well, how will he come out? Similarly, if a teacher is unsympathetic to the student and not ready to tolerate the shortcomings of the student, then if the teacher becomes excessively angry, then the student loses the opportunity to come out of ignorance. he loses the opportunity to grow in spiritual life. He loses the opportunity to stick on to spiritual life. There are people who have given up Krishna consciousness because of angry teacher. They have stopped their practice only. So it shouldn't happen through us like that. So there is a warning given by Rishabhadev. Therefore, a teacher is supposed to be very patient in tolerating the shortcomings of the junior and slowly escorting them. And also, as teachers, if all of us become excessively angry, we also lose respect of the junior also. Juniors will lose respect for us. And they will also resort to cheating in order to be in our good books. They will also take shortcut, or they will go to multiple teachers and hear from whoever says something that's comfortable for them. So then you lose the ability to enlighten them, educate them, elevate them. You lose that opportunity. They are no more yours because they may be externally connected to you, but in heart they are disconnected from you. So once they are disconnected in the heart, then how can you instruct them? Your instructions will fall in their deaf ears. It will not be taken seriously by them. So the heart-to-heart connection between superior and junior is required, and in both directions the respect should be there. Respect of the junior for the senior and respect of the senior for the junior. So senior's respect for the junior means valuing individuality, respecting individuality, giving them yatechasi tata guru. Krishna gives respect to Arjuna. That verse is a proof. After giving, and that too, how many slokas are over? Almost over Gita. Towards the end, he said, Yatechasi. So we have to ask ourselves, if a boy is saying, I want to go for UPSC, you may say that if you go for UPSC, tomorrow you become a very big officer and you are going to be busy 24/7. So do you have a program for practicing your chanting? If you say it's Prabhu 16 rounds chanting confirmed. Pune, one boy got 24th rank in Pune in All India UPSC recently. So he came and met me in Balaji temple. We sat for an hour. We were talking. So he was asking about Prabhu, minimum practice I can promise. 16 rounds I'll complete every day. He says that the UPSC and training after the posting, there are classes between morning 6 to night 9. So he said, I am planning to get up at 3. So I'll finish my 16 rounds, then only I'll go to class, he was telling. So if they're ready to practice their own Krishna consciousness and they want to hold the big position in society, we should encourage them and not discourage them. So the Yatechasi Tathakuru principle is very important for the seniors. You should tell him the pros and cons and ultimately leave the choice to the individual. That's the meaning of senior respecting a junior. Because sometimes you can detect that the junior has certain desires which may not be conducive for his progress. So you have to tell him, see, you have this material desire and you are weak in Krishna consciousness. At the same time, you want to do this, you may get deviated, take care. These are the pure spiritual principles. You follow them, remain protected, remain safe, remain sheltered. Like that we can tell him and then we can leave them. Ultimately, it is their choice. You have to tell them it is between you and Krishna. I have told you what you should do. This is good for you. Then you make the proper choice, and then Krishna also is giving that freedom. He's respecting Arjuna's individuality. So that's the meaning of Karunaya. And Titikshaya means once you give that type of choice to them, then people are also willing to, like for example, somebody is under you, you are mentoring them. And then after some time, they want to be under someone else's mentoring. What you should do? You should actually tell him that, oh, you want to be under such and such devotee? I will introduce you to him. You write a letter to the devotee and say, Prabhu, this was my devotee in my group, but he likes you very much. He likes your lectures and association very much. He wants to be in your mentoring. Please kindly accept him. You send a letter to him. So he knows that mentor 1, mentor 2, they have good relationship. And they are actually transferring me from here to there. So then it's a very healthy thing for the younger ones. Rather than you say that, why are you not chaste to me? You are leaving me and going there. You will never flourish in your life. You are doomed. This kind of, you may not say that, but if you even hold that attitude, it's a very bad attitude. Like there was one angry Mataji. She had one counsellor. So the counsellor said, Mataji is good. She's a serious devotee. Only this, she is too angry. She shouts. So she wanted to move from that group to another group. The angry Mataji became doubly angry. She said, how can you go to another group? Either if you are in my group, you will go back to Godhead. If you go to any other group, you will be reborn again. Which Shastra says that we don't know. So, no one should try to hold anybody. That's called possessive mentality. So a superior should not be possessive. Nobody should be possessive in this world. Even Chitraketu was told to give up possessiveness to his son also. What to speak of us? We are not talking about your blood son. We are just talking of somebody spiritually connected to us. So, in this way, that's the meaning of Karunaya. Don't be possessive towards the juniors. Don't become excessively angry towards them. And also give them the respect, which means value their individuality. Everyone is an individual person. Don't say that I am eating sambar rice, you also should eat sambar rice only. I am your counselor, so everybody eats sambar rice. No. You are a South Indian, you like sambar rice. If they want to eat chapati sabji, let them eat. So they allow them freedom, correct? No? So, in this way, that is the duty of a senior. Actually, if a senior takes care of these principles, the cheating in between the relationship can be avoided between senior and junior. At the same time, the senior should not sprinkle water and wash off the junior also. Somebody may say, Prabhuji, so much strong lecture you gave, now I decided I have no junior, everybody is under Krishna directly. Now you sprinkle water and leave them. That is another extreme. Correct, no? That's another extreme. Then what is the meaning of your being guide? Actually, we should be ready to teach them the right thing and be detached. See, Krishna taught the right thing or not in Bhagavad Gita? And then he was detached. Krishna didn't tell Arjuna, no, I will not teach you only, because after teaching you may not surrender. Better I don't teach you, go now only you go away. He didn't say that. You do your part, teach your part, say the right things, and still people may not follow, even though you are teaching the right thing. But be detached at that time. Yatechasi tatakuru. Leave it to them after that. So in this way, the senior and junior means like father and son, mother and daughter, husband and wife. All are this type of relationship. Mentor and mentee. In all these relationships. But when seniors become immature and the juniors become corrupt, then the relationship becomes a cheating relationship. Shatya Mishram Cha Sauhridam. So no more sanctity in that relationship. It gets spoiled. Especially one more thing that spoils the relationship is the breaking of the regulative principles. As I told you, actually breaking of regulative principles happens by asat sangha, bad association. Nowadays, bad association is coming from internet, Wi-Fi. Everywhere there is Wi-Fi. Internet, people watch polluting things. When mind becomes polluted, then they break the regulative principles. When they break the regulative principles, they become hypocritical. When they become hypocritical, then the quarrel, then rebellion and independent mentality. All these things follow. One after another, they all follow like that. So, therefore, those who are really serious about going back to Godhead should very strictly avoid any temptations or any agents that will pollute our mind. Because it's not that, things happen overnight. It happens as spiritual life is going on smoothly. Some bad asat sangha comes. Like once I was going in the train, a 36 hours journey from Calcutta to Pune. As soon as I reached Pune, I started sneezing continuously. Then I went to the doctor. He said, you have contracted some virus from somebody in the train, not recently, many years ago. So we didn't even know. Then I realized in the train there was one fellow sneezing next to me. Repeatedly he was sneezing with a kerchief. Then we contracted. Then later on, we capture that. It's contagious, correct? No? When they are sneezing on your face, like that, then you catch it after that. So that's how the bad association takes place. Something we pick up. And then when we pick up, then we start suffering that. Then from that, all other unwanted things come. You will see that the asat sangha makes us frivolous. The asat sangha makes us cheat. For example, the Yadukumaras went to the sages and they were joking with the sages, saying that, is Samba going to beget a boy or a girl? They put a pillow inside his shirt. And they said, oh, great sages, you are all Trikala Jnanis, you know everything. What do you think about this girl? She is very shy to ask you the question. So we are asking on her behalf. Is she going to beget a boy or a girl? So Narada was also present there. He said, you boys, she is going to get an iron rod. They said. And they were shocked. What is this? When they took Samba to the side, they lifted the shirt, they saw an iron rod came. From the, instead of pillow, there was iron rod. And that became the cause of the Yadav dynasty destruction. You know that. Maushalila. So Viprashapa Vimudhanam, it is said. Viprashapa Vimudhanam. So they became victim of Viprashapa. So curse of great Brahmins. Because they became frivolous in speech. So we should be very careful not to become frivolous. Because frivolous speech, sarcastic speech with the seniors or juniors, with anybody, that is going to, that un-Krishna conscious behavior will spoil the spiritual sanctity in relationships. So, like Rahugana used sarcasm, which was hurled against Jadabharata, but quickly he returned to Krishna conscious behavior. He was about to slip and get into trouble, but he was saved. On the other hand, Daksha Prajapati could not stop himself. He went on and on and on, and then he got a goat head. As a result, at the end, we find, isn't it? And the frivolous speech, there are many other examples also of people's Prajalpar, frivolous speech. Our Ramachandrapuri speech or Amogha speech, they are also frivolous talk. So, frivolous talk can become fault-finding talk and eventually blasphemous talk. So, this sarcasm, this fellow used sarcasm. What is his name? Gopinath Patnaik. And he got into trouble because he used sarcasm against king's son, Badajan. And Badajan wanted to put him in the Changa. Changa is actually a Mrityu Danda. You saw? By frivolous speech, he got into trouble, big trouble. So one has to be very careful in our usage of our tongue. The tongue, it is such a tiny part of the body, but it controls the direction of our life. If you are going to be careless in the using of the tongue, then we can land in trouble. So, therefore, actually, if the relationship between one another is holy and has some sanctity, with that sanctity we can get some spiritual feelings, experience. But if senior-junior relationship has no respect, due to the lack of respect, then familiarity increases. The familiarity increases in two ways. One is due to disrespect. I told you, till now I have been talking about that. But there is another aspect of familiarity. When the senior does not behave with spiritual dignity, he becomes very cheap in dealing with juniors. Some people, in the name of friendly behavior with juniors, they say and do things which are unbefitting a senior. Then the juniors will not have that dignity for them. They will take them very cheaply, that type of behavior. So, for example, if a brahmachari, is purchasing a lot of things from Govindas and sitting with juniors and eating, for example, and if a brahmachari is sleeping in the train till 8 o'clock, not getting up in the morning in the train, he tells everybody, all of you also sleep, I will also sleep. Relax, no problem. We can always chant in the daytime. I'm just giving examples. That type of, and also dealing with juniors with material familiarity. With material familiarity. So these things will completely pollute the relationship. Actually, some brahmacharis may be very, overly friendly with the junior. So then juniors will not take the senior seriously. They will dance on the head. You can see in the homes also. Parents who are extremely permissive, extremely relaxed with the children, thinking that, we don't want to hurt them, then the children will not listen to them also. They will say, you do your thing, I will do my thing. They will say like that. On the other hand, parents who are overly strict like Hiranyakashipu, overly controlling, they also cannot bring about any good. We need a combination of two things. There should be sober behavior there should be gravity, there should be respect of the junior for the senior. Like one place, one brahmachari was telling, so because of his over familiarity with his juniors, the juniors are telling the senior, what you have done. See our great speakers. We have, Amogla Prabhu, Amarendra Prabhu, they're all so famous, but what lecture can you give? Like that a junior told him. So the senior was telling me, what should I say for this? Then I said, that goes to show how shallow is your junior. Because spiritual life is not about only showing any big great speech or is the oratorship the only target, only eligibility for going back to Godhead? So I told, therefore I said, if you are faithfully, this fellow is serving the deities. He is worshipping the deity and he has some people under him. I said, if they are not happy with you, let them go and connect with whomever they want to connect. But this fellow has been feeding them a lot of Mahaprasad with his people. And he have pampered them too much. And now they are joking with him, pulling his leg, dealing with him. They have no respect for the senior. Actually, the relationship loses its sanctity as soon as the junior has lost respect for senior. Then the senior should not give him shelter. You should refuse him. Get lost. Go wherever you want. I won't give shelter to anybody if I don't have a respectful relationship with any junior. If somebody is thinking that he can't gain anything from me in his relationship with me, I will ask him, why are you wasting time with me? Get lost. Go and connect with somebody with whom you are comfortable and whom you consider as a hero. Therefore, even in husband-wife relationship also, the wife should have a great respect for the husband. And the husband should not be an ordinary person. He should be a noble soul. A husband should be a noble soul, surrendered to Guru, faithfully practicing. And whether a husband is rich, husband is poor, husband is educated, husband is uneducated, husband is popular in the world, husband is not popular. A wife should faithfully serve the husband. As long as husband is a devotee husband, he is bringing him some money, putting up the home, practicing devotional service. A wife is happy and satisfied in that. At the same time, husband should also duly respect the wife, as I told her. Give her the dignity and respect and not exploit her. So, if the relationship has lost sanctity, we should not give shelter. And we should not run after a junior. Please don't go away from me. I also want some number so that I can have X number of people under me. We don't have to chase. It's a shame upon the senior who runs after a junior. If junior is getting some benefit, they can stay. Otherwise, they shouldn't stay at all. Let them go and find out shelter elsewhere. So there are such fellows who are frivolous fellows. So at least senior should not be frivolous. Senior should be sober in one's dealing. Especially think about a place, if you are staying with just 1+1 or 1+2 of you, you have to go to some project. And day in and day out, you are looking at each other in such projects. So naturally, you have to actually offer a spiritual shelter to the junior. Once a junior was telling me, Prabhuji, you asked me to go with that senior, I went to the project. And last 1 month, there was not a single Bhagavatam class, he said. I said, really? So I got very discouraged. I have come back now. Now I will not go to that project, he said. Then I called the senior and asked, why you are not doing any Bhagavatam class daily? He said, no, Prabhuji, I have told him he can hear whatever lectures he wants. And I will hear whatever I want, he said. So when I called the junior and said, Prabhu, this is not inspiring to me. I want him to sit with me and we both should hear. There should be some discussion. Then there is some rasa. There is some relationship. He says, you hear whatever you want in another room, I will hear in this room. So the senior failed to give shelter. But because he failed to give shelter to the junior, he lost the junior. So one of the ways to give shelter to a junior is to sit with him and hear the class, any recording of sannyasis, gurus, and then discuss with one another and build a spiritual relationship with the junior. Then the junior will be happy to connect with the senior. And also not just keep on hearing, dumping so much knowledge. Do something practical also. Today morning we went for Harinam Sankirtan. It's a practical reaching out of holy name to the people. Go out and distribute prasadam. Go out and distribute knowledge to people. Go with the junior, come, let's both go and distribute some books, Prabhupada books in the marketplace. Like Nityananda, and who went with him? Haridas Thakur. They both went for, preaching together. And in the preaching, there is adventure. So then the junior-senior relationship becomes very thick. And then they will be very happy to stay together and go on for whole life also. Otherwise, the senior who fails to give shelter to the junior, then the junior is lost. Then the relationship is lost between them. So, this kind of Shatyamishram, Sahurdam, Kalkanam, all these things are coming in Kali Yuga. And we are all living in this age, Kali Yuga. One has to be very, very careful and cautious not to let these impurities come into our relationships. Namely, as I told you, hypocrisy or quarrel or independent rebellion, independent mentality, or shelterless dog, like anath dog. Somebody going to 24 people and not having one shelter at all. So, not faithful and loyal to any relationship. That kind of thing shouldn't happen for devotees. So, our society is a big society. We have to take care that we don't disrespect anybody. And even if somebody else is disrespecting, we should go away from that place. We should not associate with people who are disrespecting any Vaishnava. And if anybody deserves to be corrected, we can hand them over to their spiritual guardian. They can correct them. So today morning I was stressing on one aspect, which is respect for each other, mutual respect between senior and junior, and honest opening of heart. Now this is another big problem in Kali Yuga. People put up a show like they have a sweet relationship. Externally they will offer obeisances, talk with you politely, but in heart they are disconnected and they have no faith at all. Like sometimes people write a long letter of glorification. At the end they say, therefore I don't want to be with you. What is the meaning of the glorification? One devotee wanted to change the counselor. He wrote 3 pages of glorification. At the end he said, therefore I want to leave your group and go to another group. So that counselor came and showed me the letter and said, Prabhuji, if he has only glorification about me, then why should he leave me? So please find out. And when I called that devotee had 6 pages of problems, which he didn't tell only. Then I told him, at least summarize them in 1 page at least. Why you are leaving? So honesty is so much lacking in Kali Yuga. Straightforwardness. Actually, sadhus should be known for straightforward behavior. Straightforwardness doesn't mean you are harsh of speech or you are heartless or something like that. Straightforwardness means speaking the truth honestly. If I were to leave somebody and go to another person, I will tell that person, Prabhu, these are the things I found wonderful in you, I benefited from you. And these are the things I find difficulty with you. You are great. I can't tell these are your faults, but I am not able to connect with you because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, I want to go to that group. I will honestly speak that. Because where there is honest expression, then that place becomes, very clean place. Because you can see Nabaga, last time you have heard in the 9th canto. So the thoroughly honest. Like Arjuna is facing so much problems while hearing from Krishna. He is honestly revealing. Yamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasi vame tarekam vada nishchitya yena shreyoham apniyam. He's telling, hey, my dear Krishna, what is this? So many different paths you are telling me. Tell me one thing to do and I will do it. I am confused about my duty. He is very clearly expressing his difficulty. He is not just praising Krishna, Krishna, you are great, but I will not follow, I am running away now. He is not doing that. So be honest in expression. Because these things I am talking now because we are living in what age now? Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means there is no honesty. There is Shatyamishram, there is cheating. There is a quarrel, all these bad qualities. So we are devotees, we can be free from all these propensities provided we take care of these principles. Especially one of the principles that we highlighted today was respect. There should be proper respect in the heart and there should be proper expression of respect through the etiquettes. So I told you, A for absolute truth, B for Brahmana teachers, and C for cows, and D for demigod should be respected, and E for etiquettes. In etiquettes, I spoke elaborately on the respect aspect. So, in this way, if these principles are followed, it's like vaccination for us. We will remain unaffected by the evils of Kali Yuga. Like you are going in the road, if there is a heavy rain, you have umbrella, you are safe. You are remaining protected. If you don't have umbrella, you get drenched in the rainwater. So make sure that you offer proper shelter to people who are given to you in your project, and also have a relationship in such a way that they will want to stay with you, stick on. Of course, there will always be people who are dissatisfied, people who will leave, and you can't be blamed for them. But at the same time, we have to also check whether am I doing my duties properly. If you have done your duty properly, you don't have to worry. You have done your part well. Because we should not only blame others for the mistakes, we should also look at our own shortcomings also. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj was a pure devotee, but when he saw these symptoms, he understood Krishna is not here. Krishna has left for his own abode, because when Krishna is there, these qualities cannot exist. So, ISKCON society is actually a Krishna society. So, if you keep Krishna very strongly in the center with Sankirtan movement, then all these unwanted things will evaporate. Therefore, nowadays there are, you heard about Mahotsaha Prabhu? Mahotsaha Prabhu recently distributed 5,400 books by one-to-one hand distribution, breaking all the world record till now. 5,400 books in one day. He has distributed, which includes many Bhagavatam sets, individual boxes and books and everything. Nowadays he goes to shopping malls and puts tables, gets orders from people, and he doesn't get subsidy and all as we get. He is selling at whatever price. So here is an example of people who are fully engaged in Sankirtan and they have no time for all these bad qualities. When one is completely absorbed in Sankirtan and sincere and serious practice and sincere and serious preaching. Let us keep this as a foremost fire of our movement. This fire will burn down all the unwanted evils mentioned in this verse. Shil Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Krishna. Now, Prabhupada is dressed already. Can I Guru Puja and finish? Okay. So, any discussion we have to do, keep it with you. The next meet, we will do that afternoon time.